Yo, peace was good. Going to another install my CD collection. I know it's been a while. It's been a couple of months since I did one. This is part 144. Before I start, I just want to say Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah. You know, whatever you celebrate. For those that don't celebrate that stuff, you know, I hope you guys had a wonderful New Year. Let's this year be a great year for everybody. And that's it. All right. Enough of that, enough of the the props and the holiday praises. We're gonna get into these CDs here. All right, first CD I want to talk about. You can go to New Orleans. Before I do that, let me get a swig of water. All right, I'm gonna go to NAA AKA New Orleans. We'll go with my man Silk the Shocker with the Shocker. Released in 1996. This is when he went by Silk. He didn't go by Silk the Shocker. He didn't go with Silk the Shocker up until his second album, Charge to the Game, was another dope album, which I did show you guys that years ago, years back. But this is first. I've been trying to get this out for years. Very, very dope album. His album only has like one single, which is the Shocker, the self-titled track. I remember I used to always see this album on I used to see this album, at Circuit City back in the day, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I used to always love seeing this cover. It's just like so dope. As you can see, he's popping out the TV. He has a 9mm, but they had a blocker for obvious reasons, for marketing purposes and that kind of thing, man. This album right here, he didn't have like that New Orleans sound that you would hear on up until his later albums, like Charge of the Game, BMan, and based on the truth, the traditional, the traditional No Limit sound. There are some songs like here and there that's like that, but it has like more of that West Coast, like that old school No Limit sound, like albums like West Coast Bad Boys, True, 99 Ways to Die, Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me. It has like that sound to it. Ice Cream Man stuff, which I need to get my hands on. Ice Cream Man, but all those other albums I do have. I did show like a while back, but songs like Murder, fucking love that. I Represent All the Killers. Now I love that. I remember that was the first song I heard from this album. I Represent. I used to play. I downloaded it off Kazaa years ago. I put it on them little CD mixes and stuff like that. I used to make burnt compilation albums I used to make for myself, mixtapes, if you will. The Shocker, the self-titled track is dope. No Limit Party, which uses that samples the Bridges Over by Breaking Out Productions. Freeloaders, One Morning, that's a dope song. One Morning, just a little bit too short for me, but it serves its purpose. Howie Mob, Ain't Nothing was dope. Ghetto Tears, dope shit right there. Mister, dope shit right there. If my nine could talk, that shit goes hard. Got him feeding. My Car, fucking dope. My Car, that easily could have been a single. Definitely, especially at that time period. Yeah, especially seeing cats with the LS400, the Lexus LS, the old school Lexus, like LS400s. The Acura Legends. I could see them like bumping that. And that shit. Ghetto 211, Why My Homie, fucking dope. Yeah, very dope album. I paid a little bit of money off of this album. I paid maybe like $20-something. I got it off Discogs because I got it from a cat from Germany. That was like the cheapest one. Because for a while, like on eBay, I seen it for like $29.99, but I just never ended up getting it. And the guy that was selling for that price, it won't, wasn't selling it no more. Like I guess somebody bought it out. He had like a couple copies, but I just never jumped on it. So lesson learned: if I see something good, definitely jump on it. But life lessons, man. Life. You got responsibilities. I got my own place and bills and priorities. CDs is not really a priority. I mean, I love doing this, but life calls. That's more important than CDs. So, but I'm glad I have it. And yes, this is the OG pressing. You can see right here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's how you can tell when you see stuff like that. Yeah, because usually when you have the reissue, they'll show like like the albums that came out of that year when it was re-released and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so the Shocker, with the Shaka release in 1996. Dope shit. Alright, next album, we're still in New Orleans. Still on the No Limit side of things. We're gonna go with Silk the Shaka with his third album, BMan. This is released in 1999. This is his third album. A lot of people said this is the album that kind of like, this is his breakthrough album. The singles off this album are It Ain't My Fault Part 2, Somebody Like Me featuring Maya, Ghetto Rain. Those are like the singles of the album. This is a pretty decent album. It's not his best, but it definitely got some fire though. My only gripe, with this album was that, like, with Master P himself, especially around like the Ghetto D era, MP The Last Dawn, Only God Could Judge Me, like albums like that, like when Master P, he did like this cringy ass like Godfather Mafia, like Tony Montana type of this impersonation. It just don't sound very good. It's like, bro, like, what are we doing? Like, doesn't sound good at all. But needless to say, this album definitely got some bangers on it. You got songs like The Day I Was Made, Somebody Like Me, It Ain't My Fault Part 2, Ghetto Rain was pretty good. You Know What We About, that was pretty good. I Want to Be With You, No Limit. Let's see what else is another good song. We Won't Stop was pretty good. If it don't make money, or if it doesn't make dollars, It's Going Around Outside, that was pretty good. Put It On Something, Get It Up. Yeah, those are those songs right there. But yeah, like the singles, like I said before, Somebody Like Me with featuring Maya. It Ain't My Fault Part 2. Ain't My Fault Part 1 was on the Charge to the Game. And the song Ghetto Rain, which was kind of like a claymation kind of video. It's like an animation kind of thing, kind of like Celebrity Deathmatch, like that type of effects, if you will. But I do prefer his first two albums. I did not hear Based on the True Story, that My Way, My World, that one that came out like I think like 2000, 2001. But That's True, like I didn't hear that album, so I definitely didn't get my hands on that. But this is a decent album, but not his best. But it does its purpose. But his first two albums, especially Charge of the Game and The Shaka, fire. I love those two albums, man. I could play those albums from front to back. You know what I mean? This album not so much. It got some hiccups on it, but it's not too bad. But at least Beats by the Pound does some production on this album, because I think around like 98, 99, it was like the last time that Beats of the Pound worked with No Limit. They left, and then after Beats of the Pound left, No Limit kind of suffered, production wise and product. It just wasn't as good. But Made Man by Silk the Shaka, his third album, released in 1999. Now we can go back. We're still in the New Orleans side of things. We get a sip of water. Alright, so from Calliope, we're gonna go to Uptown. My man BG with Livin Legend. This is released in 2003, excuse me. This album came out right after he left Cash Money Records. On this album, he's going at Lil Wayne, pretty much Baby, pretty much the whole goes at Cash Money. I think the only person I don't think he went after was like Juvenile, but every else he did. He went out after everybody. This is a double disc album, pretty good. Known for his two singles, I Keep It Gangsta and Hottest of the Hot. And I remember back in 2003, I used to always see the video for Hottest of the Hot. And at the time, I did not like that song because I wasn't like, big on like Cash Money. I mean, I was, but not like that. You know what I mean? I wasn't really. I was more like very East Coast biased. Anything, I was like more like into the southern stuff, but like from like the early mid 90s stuff. Really wasn't really too crazy about the stuff that came out like in the early 2000s. But just listening back in retrospect, I definitely had to cop this because since BG's out of jail, the all hype is off him. He's been getting a lot of hate lately. His love has been like kind of mixed. You either love him, you hate him. But BG's like my favorite besides Juvenile. But BG's always been my favorite Cash Money member. Um, but yeah, I mean, you got songs like I'm Out Here, that was pretty good. The Fuck You intro was dope. Clean Up Man Part 2, which Clean Up Man, the first one was, I believe, was on It's All On You. I think that was on Volume 2, I want to say. If not Volume 1, but I want to say it's Volume 2, which I definitely have. I Keep It Gangster is dope. Hot as the Hot fucking beat. That's those synths that was used in that song. Fire. Batter 'em Up. That was pretty good. Only For You. Real Niggas and Real Bitches is dope. Do What You Do. Let It Flow. My Son and Daughter. Ducking the Law. Shoot 'Em Up. Bang Bang. Yeah, really good stuff right there. Reality Check Part 2. And then the second disc is pretty much I guess it's like leftover tracks off this album that he recorded so many songs, like he just slapped it on. There's no like track listing for the second disc, but yeah, there's no track listing for the second disc, but it's like all you can tell it's like all original tracks and stuff like that because they have Reality Check Part 1 and then like the Hottest of the Hot. It's like the Clinton Spark remix, which I didn't really care for. But yeah, this album was dope, very very dope. Highly recommended. Production wise, to me it's like a mixture of the Chopper City in the Ghetto and Checkmate. So if you like those albums, then I definitely recommend checking this album out. And even though Manny Fresh didn't make the production for obvious reasons, it was a guy named Kidd. He did his thing on this album production wise, and like I said, production wise, definitely reminiscent of Chopper City in the Ghetto and Checkmate. I gotta get Checkmate. But every other albums I do have, I have the first couple of albums from him. I have the Chopper City, which is my favorite. That Chopper City, It's All On You, Volume 1 and 2, which are my favorite BG albums for me. I have Chopper City in the Ghetto, now I got this. And I got another album that I forgot the name of it. I think it came out like 04 or something like that. But yeah, BG, Livin Legend, released in 2003. Dope shit. Alright, next album, we're gonna go to the Boogie Down Bronx. Boogie Down Productions fame. DNice with To The Rescue, released in 1991. You guys should know who DNice is. He was part of Boogie Down Productions. I showed you guys his first album a while back. I think it was called It Ain't Don't Stop, which I fucking love that album. It's a fucking dope album. This album has 3 singles. The singles are 25 to Life, Time to Flow, and To The Rescue. Those are the singles of the album. For me, standout tracks for me is 25 to Life. Rhyming skills was pretty good. Time to Flow, fucking love that song. Love the video for it too. When you listen to DNice flows on this album, on that song, excuse me, you can tell Tretch wrote that just by the way he rhymes, stuff like that. So there's 2 versions. There's like a solo version, which is actually the video version, and then you got the album version, which features Nerdy by Nature or Tretch, that kind of thing. I thought that was pretty good. Time to Flow. To The Rescue, the self-titled track, very dope. The Solid Scheme remix you guys should check out. That was pretty good too. That was another dope song. That's pretty much it. Those are like the only songs I liked. I felt like this song was okay. I just felt like some of the production was a little off, in my personal opinion. Didn't really do anything for me. It was kind of weak compared to the first album. The first album was a little bit better. It was like more gritty. It was like more raw. I just felt like the song felt kind of rushed, in my personal opinion. Not one of my favorites. I was a little disappointed with it because I was expecting better. But it's a decent album, but it's not as good as his first album. But no, I think the name of the album is My Name Is DNice. I think that's the name of the his first album. My Name Is DNice. So yeah. But yeah, DNice, To The Rescue, released in 1991. Definitely check it out. Alright, next album we'll go to Queens. This is released in 2001. The Fubu album, the Goodlife album, released in 2001. The reason why I say Queens is because L Cool J, pretty much like the sponsor of this brand at one point. He was like all over, especially like the late '90s, mid to late '90s. He was all about the Fubu. I believe the single off this album is Fatty Girl. That was a single of the album. He also had Lights, Camera, Action by Mr. Cheeks, which was also on his first album, the John P. Kelly album that came out that same year. Excuse me. Yeah, that was like the only single of the album. From what I understand, I think it was Carl Brown, who's the executive producer of this album. He was on Shark Tanks, and then he said that when he was on that song Shark Tanks, he said like this album pretty much cost him a lot of money to make. It didn't really sell very well, but what saved him was a single Friday Girl. It made him like millions of dollars. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But now with that being said, the standout tracks for me is a Goodlife, which features Nate Dogg, Nas, and JS of 54th Platoon. Lights, Camera, Action by Mr. Cheeks, that was pretty good. Playing the Game by JS of 54th Platoon. I believe he's from the 54th Platoon. I'm not mistaken, they're from New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what else. Girl You Nasty was pretty good. Bad Man Business was good. Ghetto Girl with Joe, that was pretty good. Let me see what else. Yeah, Ghetto Girl, Set It Off with Dawn Robinson of En Vogue. Yeah, this is a pretty decent album. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's decent, you know what I mean? Typical East Coast hip hop from 2001. It's kind of like that East Coast, commercial. Excuse me, East Coast commercial sound and shit. Not too crazy about it, but yeah, it's decent. It was like a blind buy as long as I pick it up. I really used to always see this back in the early 2000s, like Circuit City, FYE, Best Buy, and stuff like that. So, figured, fuck it, let me pick it up. So yeah, Fubu, the Goodlife album, released 2001. Alright, next album, we're going to LA. It's more of a soundtrack. We're going to go with Cradle to the Grave, the soundtrack, released in 2003. The single of this album is It's Gonna Give It To You with DMX, which I'm not a big fan of that song. I used to hear that song all the fucking time. It never did anything for me. Definitely one of his weakest tracks, in my opinion, that he ever did, in my opinion. It's a decent track, but it's not my favorite. It's not my go-to. It's not a party up, or it's not what y'all niggas want. It's not songs like that. It's not a Rough Riders anthem. It's like, it doesn't have that what these niggas want. Like, it's not what we want, what y'all niggas want. It's like, it's not that. It doesn't have that, to me personally. But it seems like that's like one of the songs that people know him for, but to me it's not one of his best singles, in my opinion. And actually that song It's Gonna Give It To You, I believe is actually on the international version of Grand Champs, because the album came out the same year, 2003. But yeah, getting back to this album, standout tracks for me is What's It All For, was Bizarre Royale, who was like affiliated with Bloodline, like, who was part of Bloodline Records, DMX's record label at the time before his death. Follow Me Gangsta with 50 Cent G Unit, that was pretty dope. Stomp the Shit Out You, CNN, feature MOP, fucking dope. There's a classic song from there. That song was actually featured also on MOP's Ghetto Warfare album. That was pretty good. Let me see what else. My Life, Cradle to the Grave with Fasiral Althea, that shit goes hard. Fireman Drag On, that goes hard. Series of Clips, that beat is so dope. I've always wanted to know that song. I've heard it before on mixtapes, so I'm glad I found it on this album. That was pretty good. Right Wrong, DMX, that shit goes hard. Had That Rocks the Cradle with Big Stan, another dude that was affiliated with DMX, that whole Vacant Lot, Bloodline, type of thing, that kind of thing. That was pretty cool. Focus with Cashmere, another MC that was part of, the Bloodline Records. So yeah, This is a pretty decent track. Getting Down, Big DMX, Big Sand Cats being about Bizarre Royale, Getting Down, pretty dope track. Yeah, decent soundtrack. The movie was okay, not the best, but it was decent. It's entertaining to watch, but soundtrack makes up for it. But yeah, DMX, Cradle to the Grave, releasing the soundtrack, released in 2003. Rest in peace to DMX. Dark Man X. All right. Next album, we're gonna go to Southside Queens. We're gonna go with Consequence with his debut album, Don't Quit Your Day Job, released in 2007. Consequence, you guys should know him. He's Q-Tip's cousin, that kind of thing. He was part of Tribe Called Quest at one point. Something has couple of singles. I think 4 or 5 singles. The singles for it is Don't Forget 'Em, Calling Me, The Good, Bad, and Ugly was a single. Grammy Family, which that song was big back in like 2006, 2007. If in fact I believe that song Grammy Family was actually featured in DJ Khaled's album that he dropped around that time period. But he put it on this album. Let's see what else was a single as well. Job Song, yeah, Don't Forget 'Em, Calling Me, The Good, the Bad, and Ugly. Stand on Trust for me is a Job Song. That was pretty cool. Pretty Little Sexy Mama, Calling Me was pretty good. Let me see what else. Uncle Raheem was good. Grammy Family was good, and that was pretty much it. Everything else it was pretty much forgettable. Consequence is not really the best MC in the world. You know what I mean? Obviously, everybody knows that Consequence of Five Dog didn't really have the best of relationship. You know what I mean? It's probably pretty much overshadowing Five Dog, but it was just, I don't know. Like I could have done with Consequence, but he alright, but he ain't like, oh my god, But yeah, Consequence, his debut album, Don't Quit Your Day Job, released in 2007. Even Consequence himself didn't like the album. Yeah, he didn't like how the turnout of the album. So what does that tell you? But yeah, Consequence, Don't Quit Your Day Job, released in 2007. All right, then we're gonna go to Jamaica. We're gonna to Yard. We're gonna go with Shaggy with Pure Pleasure. This is his debut album, released in 1993. You guys should know Shaggy. I showed you guys the Hotspot album from 2001. He's been all over in the 90s. He's worked with albums with Stevie. I think he did a collab album with Sting a couple years back, that kind of thing. It's known for a couple singles, Old Carolina, Nice and Lovely, Sooner Done, and Big Up. Those are the singles of the album. Stand on Trust for me is Give Thanks and Praise was pretty cool. Tech Set, Love How They Flex, Love How Them Flex, All Virgins, IEAO, that was pretty cool. It Bun Me, Big Up, and Mampai. Those are the singles. Those are the standout charts for me. Some of the songs here though, like he does like a lot of cover songs, like old folk songs, from the 50s and 60s, and kind of made it to his shit, like his own rendition. It's cool, but it's not really my cup of tea. You know what I mean? I don't really care for that. I just gotta get more of his albums, but this is the first album, like I said, 1993. It's a decent album, that kind of thing, but that Old Carolina song got done without. It's like kind of like annoying. Oh Carolina, like I'm not with it. So, but yeah, Pure Pleasure by Shaggy, released in 1993. All right, next album. Let me get a swig of water. All right, Next time we're gonna go to Brooklyn. We're gonna go with Vizion Personal. This was released in 1996. Vizion, they're a group based out in Brooklyn. Got this start back in I want to say that I believe they got discovered by Teddy Riley. And he got the he upholded their demo tape and Michael Jackson like what he heard, which ended up getting them signed to Michael Jackson. So they're affiliated with Teddy Riley / Michael Jackson and that kind of thing. And this was, I believe, this was like the only album that they dropped under them. There was, I believe, there was a couple singles of the album. I think it was like 2 singles. The singles were Housekeeper and Do Things. Excuse me, sorry. Standout tracks for me is That's Alright. Instant Love, Housekeeper, that was pretty good. Joyride, that was pretty good. You Told Me You Love Me, Do Things. Show Me What You Got. Show You the Way to Go. It's Only a Dream and Night and Day. Those are the standout tracks for me. It's a pretty decent album. I like it. Is it the best? No. I've read a lot of reviews online of this album. Like, a lot of people didn't really care for this album because they felt like they were like carbon copies of like Boyz II Men and Blackstreet, and I could kind of see the similarities, but I feel like some of the stuff they do is kind of like their own niche. But you gotta understand, this is the mid '90s, and that was the sound. So you had to kind of follow, especially when R&B, when it came to R&B, especially when it came to groups, you just had to like kind of like follow, the industry norm at that time, you know what I mean? So, that kind of thing. This didn't last long. I believe they dropped the second album, I think it was called MOV, the self-titled album. I think it came out like 99, 2000, but I don't know too much about that. But Vizion Personal, released in 1996. Alright, 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Alright, next album. We'll go to Kansas City. We can go with Lowkey, with Where Dey At. This was released in 1992. Let me see, let me make sure. Is it 92? Yeah, 92. They're a group from Kansas City, Minnesota. Lowkey. They were signed with under Perspective Records, which was Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's record label at the time. So, the tie-in with Michael Jackson and the Jackson family, they kind of had their ties with that. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they were also part of the time at one point, and then the reason I say the Jackson family because, throughout their career, they've worked with Janet Jackson and made classic albums and that kind of thing. Dope album. The single of this album is I Got a Thing for You. That was the single of the album. Standout tracks for me is Milkshake. That was pretty good. Let me see what else. Milkshake, the Attention, the Shawanda Story, I Want to Make You Mine, that was pretty good. Autumn Love was pretty good. Sweet on Ya, More Ways Than One, that was pretty good. I Got a Thing for You. Hate It, Pretty Lady. Stay a While, fucking love that song. Stay a While, I love that song. Stay a While definitely has like that late 80s kind of feel to it, kind of like in the vein of like the production wise, it just remind me of like something that Anita Baker would make, like Good Love, like that kind of song, like those kind of musics. Like it starts off smooth, and it has like the drums towards the middle of the song, and yeah, like that. It has like that 87, 88 kind of feel, like that Good Love kind of feel. Stay a While, fucking love that song. I love that joint. Overall dope album. It's kind of like a mix of New Jack Swing and like contemporary R&B, so it's pretty good. Lowkey, Where They At, released in 1992. Dope shit. Alright. Next album. We're gonna go to Philly. Philadelphia. We're gonna go with this group called. Sorry, I'm just taking out the price tag. I should have done that before the video. Sorry about that. We go with a GOAT with Tricks of the Shade. This was also released in 1992. I believe the single off this album is Do the Digs and Typical American. Those are the singles of the album. Standout tracks for me, Typical American. Let's see what else. What You Got was pretty cool. What You Getting. Let's see what else. Coming in Your Ear. Wrong Pop the Piston was pretty good. Hip Hopola. Let's see what else. Do the Things, Doug. That was pretty cool. TV Cops, fucking love that. Love the beat for that. That shit goes hard. The self-titled track, Tricks of the Shade. Burn the Flag. You know, pretty good stuff right here. It's like it's more on a political type of track album. Production wise, you know, a lot of people like to call it like rap rock. I see this more like, you know, they use like live instrumentation with like sampled drums. That's the best way to describe the sound, and it's pretty good. But yeah, good stuff right here. Dope group for Philadelphia or Philly. Dope shit. I could have sworn I had the second album. If I don't, I definitely have to get it. But this is good stuff right there. TV Cops, my favorite joint off this album. Dope song right here. Yeah, the GOATs with Tricks of the Shade, released in 1992. Dope shit. Alright, so I got a couple more. I got like 4 more to show. Alright. Next album was like a blind buy for me. But it's a compilation album called Cream. This was released in 1998. It's like a gangster rap album. Pretty good stuff right here. You got people like Sideways, Chrome. You got people like Richie Rich, Seidel, Loonies, Drew Down, Spice One, PSD, N2D, Big Psych, rest in peace, Mo Preem, G Money, Damian Marley, Levity, Max Sean, Sully Cell, Redden Green, Militia, and 3 Times Crazy. For me, the standout tracks for me is Sideways. That was pretty dope. So Cold was dope. Full Time Hustler, but N2 Deep. N2 Deep is mad underrated. I don't really hear too many people talk about them. Ain't No Love with Big Psych, Mo Preem, and G Money. I believe that song Ain't No Love was on his first album, Big Psych's album from '96. I think it's called Ain't No Love, which goes for a lot of money. Good luck trying to get that album. Trouble by Damian Jr. Gang Marley, Damian Marley, which is also featured on his first album. I think it was Mr. Marley that came out in '96. It's another dope album. That was pretty good. Cremola with Levity, that was pretty dope. Let me see what else. We Bring the Funk with Max Sean and Sully Cell. That goes hard. All the Real was pretty good. Yeah, this whole album is dope. Some of these songs were featured on their own albums or like other compilation albums. They just slapped it on this album. You know what I mean? Cream is a compilation album by Swerve Music. You know, Swerve Entertainment. So like I said, it was a blind buy. I liked it. You know, I liked the cover, but then when I saw the artist, I definitely had to pick it up. So definitely Cream, released in 1998. Alright, next album, we're gonna go to Harlem, New York. I'm gonna go with the Shaft soundtrack. This is released in 2000. Recipes to Richard Roundtree. He died late last year, around like November. I think like October, November of last year. That was pretty shocking for me because like one of those guys like, damn, he shouldn't die, but you know, that's life, right? But yeah, pretty good stuff right here. the single of this album's Bad Man with R. Kelly, and let's see what else. Do What I Gotta Do with Donnell Jones, which goes hard. Excuse me. Standout tracks for me is R. Kelly with Bad Man. That was pretty dope. Um, let's see what else. Do What I Gotta Do with Donnell Jones was hard. Um, Rock With You with Alicia Keys. This is before Alicia Keys was Alicia Keys. We Serving with Big Gip from Goody Mob, which goes hard. Tough Guy with Outkast. This is, Outkast during the Stankonia era. I did show you guys that album. Did I? Yeah. Dope album right there. Carl Thomas with Summer Rain, which was featured on the Emotional album. Fucking 5 classic album. Fucking love that shit. Stevie Brown with Automatic featuring Backbone and Big Rube. All, Organized Noise, Society of Soul, that kind of thing. Too Short with Pimp Shit. Parlay with Fix Me, featuring Jadakiss and Eve, that shit goes hard. Mill with How You Want It, that goes hard. Hang and See Tomorrow, that was pretty good. Angie Stone, My Lovin' Will Give You Something. Yeah, dope album, man. Dope soundtrack, dope shit. Back when soundtracks actually meant something, you know what I mean? So, good stuff right here. So, Shaft, music from and inspired by Shaft, released in 2000. Dope shit. We got 2 more. We go with the Hitman. Here Comes the Hitman, released in 1993. I picked this up just based on Joe Cooley and Rodney O. Dope hip hop duo. I definitely get more of their albums. I want to get the Fuck New York album that came out in '93. It's pretty good from what I heard. Hitman, which is Joe Cooley, Rodney O, Pookie, and Duke. From what I understand, Pookie died a couple years back due to him. He had a flu and died in his sleep, that kind of thing. So it's kind of crazy when you think about it. The single of this album is "Show Getting Rough." That's the single of the album. Standout tracks for me is excuse me, the self-titled track "Here Comes the Hitman," the J.O.E., "One for the Road," everybody talking about the 9, "Show Getting Rough." This type of shit was pretty good. And 3 Funky Hitman. Very dope shit right here. I could imagine this song being the same vein as Fuck New York by Rodney, Joe Cooley and Rodney O. So if it's like that, then I'll definitely, if Fuck New York is anything like this, then I'll definitely enjoy this. I thought that album, because I've heard good things about that album. So yeah, the Hitman, Here Comes the Hitman, released in 1993. Again, it was a blind buy for me, but because I seen those two names, Joe Cooley and Rodney O, definitely had to pick it up. And 1993, hell yeah. So yeah, the Hitman, Here Comes the Hitman, released in 1993. Alright, and last but not least, got Any Given Sunday. The soundtrack, this was released in 2000. Very dope movie, dope soundtrack. The single of this album is "Shut 'Em Down" by LL Cool J. Fucking love that shit. That's, LL Cool J from the GOAT era. GOAT era was another dope album. To me, it's his last good album that he ever dropped. Because everything after that has been kind of very miss, more than hit, if you will. But his 80s and 90s stuff, and his early 2000s stuff is dope. Early 2000 meaning 2000 GOAT. Which ironically, that song "Shut 'Em Down" was actually on, I think, in the European version of the GOAT album. It's like a bonus track. So I thought it out there. But standout tracks for me is "Who You Gonna Call" with Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott, this is during the the Real World era. Fucking love that album. Reunion by Capone Noriega, fucking love that. Dope album too. I gotta do a review on that album one day. Mobb Deep, We're Never Going Back, fucking love that. Murder Music era, Mobb Deep. Let's see what else. Goody Mob. With Soul Sunday, that was pretty good. Cool J with Shut 'Em Down. Shut Up with Trick Daddy, everybody knows that song. I believe that was on the AK Chapter 47 album that dropped that same year. What else is a good song? DMX, My Niggas was featured on My Flesh, Blood, My Blood. Swiss Beats featuring Even Dragon with Move Right Now. That was pretty good. Mystical with Jump. That was pretty good. Godsmack with Y. Yeah, pretty good stuff right here. Really pretty good stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely stay tuned for more. Definitely got some more content coming. So I do apologize I'm not as consistent, but just life, work, just me making beats, working with people, it just gets in the way. But I do enjoy doing this. It's like therapy for me. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for more. Alright? Peace.